Okay, hey Kiwi Canners, so welcome to week 3 of problem solving, week 6 of our term of resilience. So this is our final week on problem solving. I've had a bit of fun with the first 2 weeks, so hopefully we'll have a bit more fun with this week. So firstly we'll do our song, and then we'll do a little recap of what we've been up to. Okay, so I'll do the words with you, we'll do the words together, and then at the end I'll do the Kiwis and you do the cans. So we should be getting pretty good at this by now. Anyways, here we go. So I am resilient, I am strong, I face my fears, bring them on. When times get tough, I don't despair, I bounce back up and persevere. Kiwi, 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 Kiwi. Alrighty, cool. I'm sure that went perfect that time. Okay, so firstly, before we do the bridge, I better give you a GKQ. So tell me, what is the name of the Simpsons' pet dog? So the name of the Simpsons' dog, what is it? Have a think about it. Okay, and the answer is Santa's Little Helper. So quite a long name, but yeah. Simpsons' dog is called Santa's Little Helper. Okay, so last week we did an activity where we had to drop an egg out of from five meters high, and hopefully the egg wouldn't break. And to help it not break, we're able to use 6 pieces of A4 paper, 6 half-meter lengths of sellotape, and you're allowed to use 6 straws as well. Like the bridge, I didn't have 6 straws, so I have used my 6 pieces of paper though. I've got my egg in the middle, and it's taped in there pretty tightly. It's an odd design, but the hope is that when it hits the ground, it lands on something else and breaks the fall of the egg and doesn't land directly on the egg. So I have a 5-meter drop. I reckon we should go see if it survives. Alright, let's do it. Okay, so here I am at my 5-meter drop, or 5-ish, with my egg contraption. So that's where it's going. Alrighty, you ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, launch. That didn't sound good. Okay, let's go down and have a look. So here we go. Here it is on the ground, and as you can see, the clear egg is clearly survived, which is great. It means I get to have breakfast. So I'm going to go cook that up, and I'll see you guys later. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with how that worked out, and I hope you guys did well too. I hope you enjoyed the task as much as I did. I found it pretty fun. So today, in our 3rd week of problem solving, I have an energizer. I also have a problem with my energizer, so we'll have a look at that. But the energizer is going to be hacky sack, so it's a good little game you can play on your own. It's something that can get the heart rate up, and I found a video by a guy called Lotus that, cool name that, but yeah, it's a good video showing you the 4 basic kicks of how to use a hacky sack. So that'll be cool, and we can watch that in a moment. But before we do so, I have a small problem that I don't have a hacky sack. So considering that we've been working on problem solving, it's probably a good thing for me to work out how exactly I'm going to play hacky without a hacky sack. So I've been thinking of a few different ways to kind of overcome my issue here. And the first thing I was thinking was, just because I don't have one doesn't mean that somebody that's close in the area doesn't have one. So I have a neighbour next door, Marion, and she might have one. So let's see if I can solve my problem by finding somebody else with one. Okay, so this is my neighbour, her place, Marion is her name. So hopefully she has a hacky sack that I'm going to be able to use. That's creepy, he's just kind of looking at me, staring at me. Anyways, here she is. Hey Marion, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Awesome. Hey, I was just wondering if by any chance could I borrow your hacky sack?
No, sorry Hayden. Yesterday I was pulling silly moves with it
Oh no.
and lost it in the garden.
Oh, you're kidding. Oh well, hey, thanks heaps for it anyways. Hopefully you find your hacky sack and can keep pulling some sick moves. Alright, bye Marion.
Thank you.
Well, that didn't work out too well, but that's okay. That's a part of the problem-solving process. So unfortunately Marion didn't have a hacky sack, but that's cool. I've got other ideas on how I can get over this. So I was thinking maybe not using a hacky sack, maybe using something else instead. So I know I've got a tennis ball around somewhere, so I thought I'd try do hacky with an alternative product, a tennis ball. Should we see if this solves my problem? Okay. Okay, so I've got my tennis ball. Let's see if this one works. Oh, not again. Hey, one more. Okay, so that didn't work out that well. Turns out the tennis ball is just too bouncy to work as a hacky sack. But that's okay. We're not going to give up. We're going to be resilient and keep going with solving this problem. So I figured I could make a hacky sack maybe. So I looked at it on YouTube, see how it's done. Doesn't seem too tricky. So let's do that. So the first thing you do, and do this at home yourself, if you don't have a hacky sack, that's why I'm showing you how to do it, so you can make your own. So first thing you need is a sock is a good way to go. I don't have any socks that I want to ruin, so I have got an old sunglasses case, which is basically like a sock. I think probably if your feet were small enough, you could probably use it as a sock. So kind of does the job of a sock, so hopefully it will work for this. So the first thing you need to do is you need to cut it down to size. So obviously I don't want a hacky sack that big, so I will cut that down a bit. I reckon there. It's good to have sharp scissors. I don't have that luxury today. Okay, I'll be back in a minute after I go get some better scissors. Okay, so I'm back with better scissors out of the first aid kit this time, so they should work, and they do. So, yep, cut it down to size, however small or big you want it. It's your call. I think I went too small. Anyways, so now I have a smaller little pocket. First thing you need to do is turn it inside out. Okay, so once you have it inside out, then you need to get a needle and thread. Now, if you want to know how to sew properly, go on YouTube, look at a tutorial. I'm learning myself as I go. But essentially, I got the basics down. So now what I want to do is I want to sew it across almost the whole way. But I want to leave maybe that much. Okay? Just a little bit left on the end. So the way I'm going to do this is I'll start at one end and just start threading it back and forth through until it's finished. So if you don't know how to sew, just go chat to your mum or your dad or your bigger brother or sister or anyone around that can. But I'm just going one way through it and then back through the other way. Or you can kind of, if you want to get fancy, you can loop it around and go over. But yeah, however you want to do it, go ahead. So I'm going to finish that part and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so I finished sewing and I've left a little gap at the end, little hole. So now what I need to do is through that little hole, using it, you need to turn it, and this can be tricky, I didn't leave much space, but that's possible. So you need to turn it back the right way out. can be quite tricky. That's coming there. Okay, so once you have turned it the right way out, it should be, for the most part, sewn on that side and then have that little hole on the top. So the reason we're going to have the little hole is because that's where we're going to put our fill. Now our fill is rice. So to do that, if you've got a funnel, that's great. Some people might not have a funnel, so you can use a piece of paper. If you take it and you roll it from the corner, you should be able to turn that into a paper funnel. Take the paper funnel, you want to put it into the hacky sack, or the little sack, so it's like that. Then you can fill it with rice. Try not to make a mess. If you've got a decent funnel, it's probably easier, but my funnel's not great, so I've got rice going everywhere. Okay. Shuffle it around, make sure you get enough rice into your little hacky sack. Don't overfill it, because if you overfill it, it'll be really like rock solid and it'll be like kicking a brick. Yeah, let's get in there. So once this is completely filled to a point that I'm happy with, which I think it is, then you once again take the thread and you sew off that last little part of it. So that's what I'm going to do now, and I'll be back with you in a minute. Okay, so I finished my little area, so that's the hacky sack done. It actually came out really good. I'm quite happy with it. So hope your hacky sacks came out good too. And yeah, we can actually do the Energizer now that we have a hacky sack. So together we were able to solve the problem. Took a few goes, but that's problem solving, and it feels pretty good to overcome my problem. So I found a video of a guy called Lotus, pretty cool name, and he's a hacky sacker, so, well, he calls it footbag, but anyways, so he's going to take you through the four basic kicks in hacky sack, so practice this a little bit, and yeah, it's a pretty good little skill to pick up, so over to Lotus.
G'day, this is Lotus from Elemental Footbags. I'm going to give you a brief demonstration today of the basic kicks that you need to practice. I'll be using a 32 panel Pro, which is a good bag for kicking and learning the basics of footbag freestyle. So here we go. Now, there's only really 3 basic kicks in freestyle footbag that you need to learn. 2 of them are essential for progressing in the sport. The other 2 are not so important. So I'll start off by showing you the 2 very important kicks. Okay, first is a toe kick. Some people will kick this with a flick like that. I find you develop a lot more control and progress to harder tricks if you kick with a bent knee action. And the way I explain it is, imagine a puppet on a string. Got a string on your knee, and as you lift your knee, your foot comes up. That's basically it, okay? Bang, straight back to your hand. So, when you're starting out, make sure you do that equally on both sides, or even more if possible on your weak side. My weak side, my good side. Once you got the hang of that, wait for the car. Don't be afraid to use your hands a lot while you're learning. Like, I always encourage people to just kick the ball once back to their hand. It's better to learn a trick well than to kick it lots of times wrongly, okay, or with bad form. So what we're trying to do now is get to a point where we can comfortably do this. Right, left, catch. Left, right, left, catch. Now that's a basic drill that if you did that for 10-15 minutes a day, your kicking will improve drastically in no time. Okay? The other really important trick in freestyle footbag is the inside kick. Now, if you can sit cross-legged, you can do an inside kick. A lot of people complain that the bag goes off to the side. It's not a flexibility problem. You've just got to make sure you kick right through the footbag when you're doing this kick and make that last motion a forceful one. Okay? Same thing. Strong side, weak side. Again, you try and get it to a point where you can go like this. Left, left, catch. Right, left, catch. Okay, so they're your two basics. On top of them, you have a couple of tricks that you will use, but are not fundamentally important. The knee kick on the side, you'll see it's just like the toe kick, except you're bumping with your knee, and the outside kick. The outside kick is used basically to bring the footbag back in front of you, and that's about it. Same thing, if you can learn it that way, then do so. It makes a pretty trick, sometimes called the rainbow. There we go.
Alright, welcome back. Good luck with the hacky sack moves. Keep trying. Okay, so before we get into our activity, I'll give you a GKQ. Tell me which cartoon family lives in the township of Bedrock. Have a think about that. Who lives in Bedrock? You're a cartoon family. Alrighty, okay, so the answer is the Flintstones. They live in Bedrock. Okay, so we've got an activity for you today. So the cool thing about it is, firstly, you get to build a plane. So grab a piece of paper. I'm going to use the same piece of paper that I used for my funnel, so reusing it. And the first thing you want to do is, well, actually the first thing you want to do is just make a jet plane however you think is best. So if you don't know how to make a jet plane, you can copy my instructions. So the first thing I've done is I've just folded it across like that. So I'm not going to leave it like that, I'm just going to fold it across. Now I'm going to unfold it, and you can see there's a crease. And I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So there's creases running, so they'll end up with creases running both ways across your paper. So, so as you can see, I've got like that X. Now this is the tricky part of the way I build my plane. What you want to do is you want to put those inwards and make it tricky so that it comes down like that, and you end up with kind of that thing going on. So to show it again, you have it like an X, and then you press the insides in of the X, and then you pull that part down. So you end up having kind of two triangles on the top. That's the hardest part of the build. So if you did that, that's awesome. So then you want to fold it in half. So fold it in half. You can fold it in half either way, so it doesn't really matter. So fold it in half. So once it's folded in half, it gives that look. And then from there, you want to open it up again and take one side and fold that downwards along that line, so it ends up like that. So I'll put the crease in, and you can see how I've done it. So as you can see, it was like that, and I've bent it down so it's like that. Do the same thing with the other side as well. Okay, now your plane should look something like that. So From here, what we need to do is take the last bits, so these kind of wings here, and we're going to turn these bits into wings. So take one side and fold it halfway down again. So I'll do that and you can see how it looks when it's done. Alright, so it was like that, and I've folded along that line there. So it's like that, and it gives me a wing. So that's going to be one wing. Do the same thing with the other side. Sorry if I'm doing this a bit fast, just pause the video and you can slow it down. In the end, you should end up with a dart. It's just a basic one, but you can do it however you please. So from here, what you need to do, the next part of the activity once you have a dart is you need to go outside. Or if you do have a big space inside, that's cool too, but if you don't, just go outside. And you want to take your dart and you want to throw it as far as you can, see how far it can get. Okay, now take note of where you stood when you threw it, and take note of where it landed. Okay, you want to measure the distance that your plane went. So once you have your distance measured, then you're going to need a couple more extra things. So the first thing you're going to need, well, you're going to need some cash. So you're going to need 80 cents. So that's a 50-cent piece, a 20-cent piece, and a little 10-cent piece. Now the 10 cent is level 1, the 20 cent is level 2, and the last top level is the 50 cents. So first you grab the 10 cent, level 1, and you put that, and you're allowed to use sellotape to put it into your plane, but you need to put that into your plane somehow. And what you want to do is you want to be able to get your plane as far as you did in the first throw, when it was empty with no coins in it. So to do that, you might need to start over with a new plane and try a different design. You might change where you put the coin in the plane. But you need to figure out how you can get your plane now just as far as you were before with a coin in it. So it's going to be harder because it's got a bit of weight. And once you do that with the 10 cents, then you do the same problem solving process to get the 20 cents past that point again. And it'll be a bit of a challenge to get the 20 cent. That's tough. But if you do manage that, I've got the big one. So that's the 50-cent piece. This weighs about twice the amount of the 20 cent. And so you want to pop that in your plane and see if you can get that one passed. So you're going to have to go through a similar process of problem solving like we did earlier in the video with the hacky sack. But I'm sure you guys will nail it. So give the challenge a go, and yeah, hopefully it all goes well. Worst case scenario, it'll be fun playing with planes, so enjoy. Okay, so I have a last GKQ for you. So the GKQ is which cartoon character lives at Bikini Atoll? So Bikini Atoll is the home of which cartoon character? Okay, so SpongeBob SquarePants is the answer, or anybody from the SpongeBob cartoon, they all live down there. So yeah, that's your last GKQ for the day. Finally, we will do our Kiwi Can goodbye, and then I will see you next week with a brand new topic. So here we go, guys. Kiwi Can goodbye. We'll see you next time. Alright, Kiwi Can out. See you guys. Have fun.